this race, but given we're back here at the back of the grid.
Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I want to discuss something super important, which is to trust your gut. Now, yes, do we need to learn from people that are smarter than us? Of course. Do we need to take advice from people that are doing better than us? Of course. But to some extent, you have to go with your own gut. Now let me give you a little story. You know how in another video I mentioned that I almost bought Bitcoin in 2014. However, listening to different podcasts, and one of them was Dave Ramsey and him calling it a Ponzi scheme, whatever, it discouraged me. Now, at the end of the day, I made the final decision to not purchase. So it's not on anybody's fault but myself, right? The same thing that it would have been my fault if it would have gone to zero. So go with your gut. Why? What do I mean? JP Morgan, as you guys know, it holds so many dollars under their belt. For years was calling Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme. I guess you would say through Jamie Dimon, their CEO. And Mr. Diamond would criticize Bitcoin over the years using strong language, such as Ponzi scheme, or it's a method of doing illegal activities. Well, when he spoke, people listened, and Bitcoin would draw down. And he did that for many years. He wasn't the only one. He's just the one that I can think at the top of my head. Obviously Dave Ramsey. To this day, I believe he still says that it's a Ponzi scheme. He doesn't believe in it. What upsets me the most is the fact that JP Morgan was also purchasing Bitcoin, creating ETFs for Bitcoins, in a few years after that. So the problem is that a lot of us who are not highly educated when it comes to financials, you listen to these smart guys, right? And you say, well, he's the CEO of a bank, so he knows exactly what's going on. And then you listen to them and you say, well, if they're saying it's a Ponzi scheme, it must be it. Later on, to find out that they're purchasing, it gives you the sense of you've been bamboozled, and it's nobody else's fault but your own. I have lost a lot of money in different cryptos, and I'll make another video about my crypto portfolio. It's horrendous today at the time of this recording. The stock market bounced back a little bit, so the stock is doing better, but crypto has not recouped. And to me, the crazy part is that we often are looking for people's feedback in an honest way for the best of our interest, but we forget that we're around human beings who don't care about you, nor your future, nor the safety of your family. It's so disheartening, but that's reality. That's part of being an adult, understanding that not everybody has the best interest. Now, it would be extremely upsetting, but not like it matters. But I'm 1,000% sure people like Dave Ramsey, they bought Bitcoin and they're buying Bitcoin. Now, he won't say it publicly because that would mean that he would admit that he's wrong, or that he has changed his mind, right? But he has the capital to deploy, 500,000, and he's like, well, if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. That's the beautiful thing about having money to deploy, and you get to see if it grows or not. But meanwhile, now, big caveat, I overall really like Dave Ramsey's method. I still follow to this day. It has allowed me to stay off debt and grow my personal wealth. But it is disheartening when you see people of, such influence say, hey, don't do this, but then they're behind their backs, they're doing something else. Again, go with your gut. It's not their fault. On that note, I still to this day see a lot of people talking about XRP. Oh, XRP Army, XRP Army, XRP Army. I haven't done the research. I keep fading it. I think it's time for me to actually consider purchasing some. But again, I'm going to do my own research and then go with my own gut. Because if I wait on somebody else to tell me, hey, this is a good buy or a bad buy, I'm not going with my own gut. At the end of the day, no one's here to save you. And that's a huge, huge lesson that I've learned. In my late 20s, I learned no one's coming here to save you. It also brings me back to purchasing a home. People say, hey, wait for the market to calm down. Wait for the market to calm down. Do you guys remember before 2019? Before 2020, I should say. At least here in the Pacific Northwest, people were saying, dude, housing is so overpriced. It's incredible. There's going to be a market correction. There's going to be another 2008. Blah, blah, blah. Well, if you didn't buy a house back in 2019, you're still going to be waiting for that correction. And those prices have doubled in some areas. Because since 2020 till now, prices have gone up at least 50% in some areas. In other areas, they've gone up more than that. And they're not going to calm down. And the reason why they're not going to calm down is because we're in a different ballgame right now. Some people locked in a very low interest, so they don't have to. They can just rent it out. Of course, if they don't have a job and income. But what I'm getting at is, have you gone with your gut and you've done your financials? People that went in back in 2016, 2018, 2019, they're sitting on a lot of equity. So even if they get in a tight financial squeeze, they can go to the bank and say, hey, look, I'd like to take a HELOC out. Those became very popular. I'm just, I guess, talking myself into continuing to go with my own gut. I've made many financial mistakes, but I'm not afraid of making financial mistakes that could potentially have some type of return. What do I mean by that? I've bought expensive shoes, expensive clothes, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy the clothes, I enjoy the shoes, but at the end of the day, there was no possibility for return. I'm going to take the chance and go with my gut as I continue to do my research on how to grow my wealth. But anyways, go with your gut. Don't listen to people. Sometimes they're not being as truthful as you think they are.